Welcome to Fran's Friends, and join me in my crafting journey. Welcome to Fran's Friends, or I should say hola, as I just spent a couple of weeks in Cancun, Mexico. And here we are now, it's the beginning of March. Can't believe it's March already. The weather here is really becoming very pleasant, and the buds are starting to come out. But let's just review what happened in February, and then we'll go on to seeing what we can do for the month of March. I was a little concerned about going away and sort of, leaving things in the lurch as far as the crafting world. So what I decided to do was, I called it Taking Crafting with Fran's Friends on Location. So what I did while I was away is I did produce 6 videos. And I had so much fun. I met a lot of people. I was able to contact people over the website. I gave out lots and lots of my cards, had lots of discussions about which ways I could go. I spoke with a really lovely couple who were very involved in the Ottawa community events, like our country fairs. And she suggested that I go all over the place to take my website for promotion. So I thought that was very interesting. But as I say, we did produce 6 videos. One of them was Fran on Location in Mexico, Riviera, and crafting inspirations about looking at the culture and the crafts that are so important and intrinsic to the Mexican country. So that was one of the ones I did, and I did it standing outside of my room overlooking the pool, so it was quite lovely. The second one was finding crafting inspiration on holiday in Mexico. And what I wanted to do was, what types of things, I'm in a resort, it's just been only taken over a couple of months ago, and they've got lots of crafts, and I thought, how could I sort of participate in giving them ideas about different types of crafts. So that was really a lot of fun. And things like towel folding. You get these really fancy towels of swans and birds and all kinds of stuff in your room on your bed each night. And also napkin folding. When you go into a restaurant, fancy napkins that can be folded. Other things such as felt work, beadwork, ceramics, textiles, all kinds of things that you could come up with to help them, set little classes for crafting. So I had really a lot of fun, and I worked directly with the head boss of the crafting unit, and we got together talked for over half an hour one day. And the next one was, I visited a ceramic shop on the resort, where they bring in the ceramics from Cancun or Tulum or other places in Mexico, and they're kiln dried already, so they set people up to sit and paint them, and then in the most beautiful, wonderful colors, and then they let them sit for a day, and then they're given back to the client. And that was a lot of fun. I spent quite a bit of time in there. Shopping for fabrics in Mexico was so much fun. We went to a lovely little fabric shop, and I did buy some fabrics, which I brought home and made memory bears, and that was an interesting experience. But the Mexican fabrics, the vibrant colors are so amazing, and it was lots of fun. Then I did a video on crafting Mexico's vibrant culture. And what I did was some of the history. They do celebrate what they call the Day of the Dead, and it's predominantly, they have painted skulls, and all over Mexico you see these painted skulls. Then they have, it's usually in November, beginning 1st and 2nd of November, and then what they do is they celebrate their lost ones, and it's quite something. So I spent some time doing some research on the history of it, and then I was given a skull, which I brought home and painted, and I'll show you a copy of it. Then the other thing I did is they have what they call God's Eye, and what it is, it's a woolen triangle or different shapes that represents God's eye and looking into the unforeseeable type of thing. And that was very interesting. So it's a really good little video if you want to learn a little bit about the history and the culture of Mexico. And then what I did when I came home is I did one on Mexican holiday memory keeping. So when I go on holidays, I always do a daily journal of absolutely what happens, what I ate, what I drank, where I went, all those types of things, mishaps, adventures, everything. And when I come home, I go through and I document it onto the computer. I go through all the pictures that I've taken and incorporate the pictures into the day's visits. And then I put it onto a USB. And then I have a box that I keep it all in. And it's my storage box of memory travels. So it's a really nice little way of keeping a little USB for a lot of information on special holidays. So also what I did was, I wasn't sure I was going to be able to do any of my own projects for February, but I was able to make 2 memory bears. And I even made sombreros for them. And the fabric I used was from the fabric that I bought in the Mexican fabric shop. So that was fun, and they turned out really quite cute. And I am going to send one to a lovely little lady that I met down in Mexico as a reminder of the time that she spent with me. Very lovely little girl. And then the last one I did, the 7th tutorial, was on actually making the sombrero. It's very, very short, but very simple to do. I went on YouTube or Facebook and I just DIY sombrero and then came up with some patterns, picked the one I wanted, and made the memory bears sombreros. So there's a little tutorial on that. So that's basically what I was pleased with the progress that I made. At least I wasn't sitting doing nothing. I thoroughly enjoyed investigating all the things that they sell, send abroad for the history and the culture of their country. So let's, another thing that happened in February was my wonderful son. I belong to a group in the UK. It's called Huglets, Teddy Bear, and they have teddy bears, and they have festivals once a year in London, and they have, I think, one in Birmingham. So it's the end of February, and my son, who also met us in Mexico, took my cards, my business cards, to the Huglet festival and gave out over 25, which I was really impressed with. And he also sent me a link to 24 of the participants. So I'll be going through those and I'll go over some of their works. And the inspiration and the bears, and of course the UK is huge for mohair. So very interesting and precious pieces that they've produced. So I'll go over those links throughout this next month or so. I also did receive a very lovely response email from one of the card's recipients, and thanking me very much for the work that I do, and really about my passion for my crafting. And that made me feel really, really special. And it also made me think about possibly looking into going to London next year to enter into the Huglets. I would love to be able to do that. So that's what happened in February. So let's move on to March. March, I'm not quite sure what kinds of things I'm going to get into. It'll be a bit of a catch-up time because, unfortunately, being away and in all that lovely sunshine and the beach and the water, I wasn't really thinking about Christmas. And, of course, I do my this year is a decor Christmas table. So February didn't get anything. So I'm going to have to double up for March. So in January, I did the tree holding my napkins. So what I'm going to do in March is February and March are put together. And I'm going to do covers for dessert plates using the fabric from the tablecloth. And I found these in the dollar store, but I will have to make sure I put some plastic or something over them to hide the holes. So, and I like the size of this because it would be perfect for a nice little dessert plate. So I'll do 4 of those, and I will do tutorials on those. The other thing I'll do is probably maybe some type of napkin folding from some of the ideas that I presented in Mexico for the Christmas tree, you know, thing for the table. So the other thing I'm going to do is last year I did recycled door stop in the shape of a mouse. And what I did is I didn't tear the mouse apart, but I saw how it was made and I remade it. And I had an idea when I was away. I saw in one of the restaurants, hanging off the ceiling, was a really cute looking little bird. And I thought, oh, by just looking at it, how could I maybe create that bird into a three-dimensional project? And here's another picture of it here. So I'm going to have a look and see what I can come up with, whether I do it in a fabric or in paper mache, or and maybe the wings in a canvas, or I'll come up with an idea of how I can make this by just looking at this, of something I saw someplace, and then recreating it. And I kind of like to do that. When I was at the dollar store the other day, I bought this. And this could be the shape of the body. Now I could paper mache it, I could cover it with t-shirt fabric or canvas and acrylic paints and that type of thing. But this could probably be a nice base for the piece. So thinking about, utilizing, this is an Easter egg that obviously isn't going to be filled with chocolate. I certainly don't need any chocolate. So that's the kind of thing we'll do. The other thing is my son brought me he bought me about 5 canvas bags. So I've got lots of canvas bags to cut up and use for projects. So that'll be lots of fun. So I'll find things to do with a canvas. Now, the recreation and that kind of thing is right up my alley. I just love it. Now, other things, when we were there, we had, I guess we called it a corporate meeting, even though it's just a hobby. We had a meeting, and I sure couldn't write the trip off, but we had some fun sitting, talking about the website and how we've incorporated a little bit of AI in a positive manner. And also, he suggested me looking into what they call an app called Stop Motion. And what you do is you have a piece that sits on a table or something, and you move it slightly and take pictures, second pictures, and then you put it all together and run it. So I'm going to try that out. So, we're going to try to enhance, as an example with this bird thing, what I might try and do is go on Genesis and see if I could do an AI version of what it could look like, and how maybe I could incorporate that into the actual project. So lots of technical stuff that we can work on. Now, a bear. I did my 2 Mexican memory bears, but I'm looking at maybe doing one of my masterclass projects or a mohair bear. I think it's time for another mohair bear. Now, one thing I would like to say is that I was sadly informed that Lisa Pei is going to be discontinuing her masterclass projects on Patreon. And I would like to reiterate that I buy the patterns, her masterclass patterns. I utilize those patterns for my own use. I do not plagiarize. I do not steal. I use those patterns and recreate those patterns in my own particular way. So just again, I bought those patterns and the videos of the tutorials of how to make them. So it's disappointing, and I thoroughly did enjoy the excellent work that she produced. But what it has done for me, it's made me realize that I can reproduce different types of patterns on my own and not depend on other people. Like even just taking bits and pieces of ideas from different patterns. So you can just do your own thing, but I'm not into plagiarism. I'm not into, and I do not sell my projects, and I do not sell patterns. So I just wanted to reinforce that because I have had the occasional negative comment that I'm just stealing from other people. It's not my nature. It's not my philosophy. So there you go. So again, March is going to be interesting. Lots and lots of things that we can do, lots of trouble we can get into, and we'll carry on with the crafting world. But going away has given me a real boost, a boost that I really, truly did need. And it's given me some spark and then some creative vitality. So again, thanks for watching, and appreciate everything that I've been able to produce for you. Thanks then.